story time about how my father is obsessed with me. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. I'm sending me on Instagram. And trigger warning, my mom and dad had me when they were very, very young. My mom was 14 years old when she got pregnant with me. From what my mom told me, my parents were pretty much together throughout the whole pregnancy. Even though they were both in high school, they wanted to move in together and try to raise me like a regular family. But my maternal grandmother had a very big issue with this. She wanted my mom to continue going to high school and possibly even give me up for adoption. But my mom was not having it, so she decided to move out with my dad. Once I was born, unfortunately, my parents just couldn't take care of me. My dad was too busy playing his football and trying to get a scholarship. And my mom just didn't really know how to take care of a child. I mean, she was a child herself. This is when my grandmother stepped in and decided to take me in, which I thank God for every single day of my life. My grandmother raised me as her own daughter, and she has been the most amazing woman in my entire life. My parents split up, and through most of my childhood, I lived with my mom and my grandmother. I didn't see my dad for about 10 years. By the time I saw him again, I was 15 years old. Part 2 is Part
2 on how I found out my dad wanted to do the nasty with me. Okay, so boom, like I said, my mom ran to my dad and slapped him. Then my mom told me to stay in my room while they, talked. She told me to get ready for bed, so that's what I did, and I went to school the next day. And guess who picked me up? Yeah, my dad. But I thought it was all good because he took me to the park and nothing happened. But I was wrong, because once we got home, my dad thought my mom was working, so he tried to do the nasty with me, and he tried to make me do stuff with him. But the gag was, my mom was in the room sleeping. She usually got off at 6, but today she got off at 2, and I got out of school around 4. Anyways, while my dad was trying to make me do things with him, I started screaming. My mom was sleeping, so once she heard me screaming, she ran to my motherfucking rescue. When I tell you my mom dealt with him, she dealt with him. Got a divorce, and now I live with her. Most importantly, he never got a chance to violate me. MVP mom.
This is why you should never watch TV late at night. Once a mother and a father decided they needed a break, so they planned a night out together, and they left their 2 children with their babysitter at home. Everything was going good, the children were well behaved, and the babysitter was just sitting around while watching the kids, but eventually she decided that she wanted to watch some TV. It turns out she couldn't watch it downstairs because they didn't have cable downstairs, so she called the parents and asked if she could watch TV with the kids in their room upstairs. The parents agreed. They were about to hang up the phone when the babysitter had one final request. As she entered the parents' bedroom, she asked if she could cover up their large clown statue with a cloth or a blanket. She said it was making her very uncomfortable. The phone line went dead for a second. Then the mother said over the phone, "Take the children and get out of the house. We don't have a clown statue." As the babysitter turned around, she saw the corners of the clown's mouth widen into a smile.
My boyfriend cheat on me with my sister, and now she don't get the way I go destroy her life. She no go ever wish see I come as her sister for her next life. Make una follow me do this makeup as I hear na this story. As na no, this story no be my own. Now one of my followers them need una advice. I go take them back to when we first they grow up. My sister na the golden child of our family. Nothing when my sister no fit. Even for her school, now she be the best. Every time I go they come house we see, but my sister go they come with A. Now she cook pass. Now she sabi dance. Now she sabi sing. Now she sabi do everything. And now she they always make my parents they proud. I never ever feel one day say I be part of that family because of the glory when they put on top my sister head. When we dey young, the thing be they pay me, but as we grow older, I can't dey happy for them because I don't already give up. Say I go ever bring any joy to my family. Even as teenagers that time, I remember any friend when I get immediately they see my sister, they not go follow me talk again. My sister they'll come they use they do friend. It they always pay me that time because everything when I get, my sister they always collect time from me. So I grew up with the feeling say anything when I get, I go to always keep them away from my sister because I did threatened by her. I no go lie as we they grow up. Fast forward till last year when my mama called me tell me say my sister go concert for Lagos, say make her allow and stay for my house. My mama say I no go fit allow my sister stay for my house, and besides she fit rent her place as she get the money. My mama come tell me say she go allow my sister go waste money take rent house when it be say I get a whole 2-bedroom flat where I dey stay for this Lagos. I come tell my mama say I go think about her and I go let her know my decision. It take me a whole 2 weeks to think about this thing because number 1, I get man for house when they follow me stay, and number 2, I no like to dey in any close space with my sister. But my parents no know say I get man when they follow me stay. After much pressure from my man and my parents, I can't agree. So okay, my sister go come stay with me. I can't plan with my man talk say na him go dey do as if say na him dey pay the bills and everything. In fact, he go do as if say na me dey follow am stay, no be him dey follow me stay. And the reason why I do like that na because say I no want me my sister come see me finish. Or make she come dey disrespect my man because my man dey get money before. Only say things can't go south for am. I decide to support my man for a short period of time before things go dey alright. Fast forward to last year December when my sister come move in with us, come dey follow everything us. Everything good until May when my man tell me say make I drop am for him barbing salon. Say he won't quickly cut in hair. As I reach office when I I dey work, say make I come down, pack my things for my car. Now I see say my man forget him second phone for my car. As I pick the phone, say make I call am with my phone, tell am say him forget him phone. Now I see 17 missed call. And I don't know say all this why the phone be dey ring for my car. As I see 17 missed call for the phone, I shock because this phone no dey get SIM card. As na only one SIM card my husband get, and this other phone na just to dey use am editing videos when he dey send give clients. I can't decide to check the missed call. I can't see say na ordinary number, even if the number look familiar. You should say you no go check next post for part 2.
Should I tell my ex-best friend that her boyfriend doesn't want to marry her? Story time. So I was friends with this girl a couple of years ago. We had a massive falling out. We'll call her Amy. Amy and I haven't spoken for years. Me and her boyfriend, we'll always stay cordial. And I will always make a point of asking Steve how Amy is doing because at the end of the day, I have a lot of love for this girl, despite how things ended. Now, I recently got engaged, so I was telling Steve all about it. And he was like, oh, I think I've changed my mind on wanting to marry Amy. I said, oh God, like, are you going to break up? He says, no, I just don't know if I want her to be my wife. Right, why? He basically said it's because he doesn't like the way she eats and because of her size. Amy has never been a plus size girl. Curvy, yes, but she's not overweight. The only thing is she does not have a good diet at all. He said that he can't imagine marrying someone who eats the way she does, who looks the way she does. He says her face is pretty, but her body isn't what I want my wife to look like. I want my wife to be healthy. And like I say, I kind of understand where he's coming from because her diet is majority junk food and he wants her to be healthy. Amy's goal in life is to be a wife. All she has ever wanted is to get married and have a family. And the longer this goes on, the longer it's going to hurt her. So do you think I should tell her? I should probably mention the reason that we aren't friends anymore is actually because she slept with my ex-boyfriend. So what do you think? Should I tell her or has karma done its thing?
Grandma walked in on me and my cousin doing it. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. I repeat, this is not my story time. My grandmother is a 97-year-old woman. She survived the war. As a teenager, she worked in a factory. This woman is made of steel. Well, my 19-year-old cousin, who I hadn't seen in 3 years, came over with his parents. And let me tell you, it was lust at first sight. By the way, I'm an only child, so I am used to getting what I want. And as soon as I saw him, I knew that I wanted him. I know, it's sick and twisted, but he's my third cousin. So I guess it really doesn't count that he's my cousin, right? So 2 months ago, my dad moved my grandma into our house. And we started planning her 97th birthday party. So my cousin and his parents started coming over more often. And every time we would see each other, we would just like stare at each other. We would flirt a little bit. I knew that he was into me just as much as I was into him. Around the 4th time they came over to our house, I asked him if he wanted to see my room. Our parents didn't suspect a thing. In my room, he asked me if he could kiss me. And I said yes. We took off our shirts and started making out. Part 2 is
Hola. ¿Cómo están? Para este punto, yo me encontraba en mi casa y viene mi mamá y me dice que mañana iría a mi primer día de clases. Me emocioné muchísimo y preparé mis cosas al día siguiente. Me despedí de mi madre y me fui a la escuela. Cuando entré notaba que ya estaban los niños nuevos, pero había un grupito de niñas, las cuales les pondremos Luciana, Jazmín y Gabriela, pues yo noté que estaban hablando de mí, pero no le presté atención. Luego me fui al casillero que me tocaba y pues entonces viene Jazmín y me dice que, hola, que sí podemos ser amigas. Yo no tuve problema, así que acepté unos varios días. Después Luciana y Jazmín estaban con un chico lindísimo de ojos verdes y con cabello castaño claro, pues digamos que yo quedé enamorada de ese chico, pues Jazmín notó que yo me le quedé mirando y se enojó conmigo. Entonces entramos al salón y noté que el chico estaba en nuestro grado y ahí me emocioné más. Luego de eso, se podría decir que empezamos a ser amigos. Voy a aclarar que para ese entonces el chico tenía 15 y yo 14. Bueno, pues el grupito que ya habíamos mencionado, o sea Luciana, Jazmín y Gabriela, estaban celosas de mí, ya que fui la primera en hablarle. Una vez la maestra dijo que haríamos trabajos en grupo de 2 y por suerte me tocó a el chico. Voy a ponerle Diego para que me puedan entender mucho mejor. Pues a mí y a Diego nos tocó trabajo en equipo. Yo estaba súper feliz y en el receso Diego y yo acordamos de que sería en su casa el trabajo en equipo. Yo no tuve ningún inconveniente, así que acepté. Al día siguiente pues yo le conté sobre lo del trabajo a mi mamá y me dijo que estaba bien, pero que tuviera cuidado. Yo le dije a Uki. En la tarde, eran como las 5 o 6 de la tarde, me fui a la casa de Diego y él me recibió bastante bien. Empezamos a hacer el trabajo y cuando lo terminamos Diego decidió que veríamos una película. Yo le respondí sí, pero que sea de terror, jejeje. Él la puso y empezamos a verla. Luego de eso Diego paró la película y se levantó enfrente de mí, pues él con muchos nervios me confesó que estaba enamorado de mí. Yo le confesé igual y pues nos dimos un beso y dijimos que seríamos novios. Pues bueno, el otro día a nosotros nos tocaba física y yo me senté con Diego porque quiero aclarar que nos daban una hora de receso antes de iniciar educación física Luciana, Jazmín y Gabriela me vieron con Diego y se pusieron aún más enojadas, pues vinieron a donde yo estaba y me jalaron del cabello y me empezaron a decir que como me metía con Diego yo no me iba a quedar así, decidí pararme. Bueno, entonces agarré a las chavas y las empecé a golpear. Ellas se fueron llorando a la dirección y le dijeron todo a la directora, pues a mí me llaman y cuando iba caminando Diego me dijo que tuviera suerte. Bueno, pues llegó y la directora me dice que por cuál razón golpeó a Jazmín, Luciana y Gabriela, pues le respondí y como que digamos que la directora me tenía muchísima confianza, ella me creyó todo y sacaron a las chavas de la escuela y pues Diego y yo seguimos siendo novios y actualmente somos esposos. ¿Les gustó el chismecito? Dejen sus opiniones y las leo. Chao.
I got this question on my Ask Esther series, and as someone who was groomed when she was 16 by a 27-year-old, I will speak from experience. You're lying to him, telling him that you're 18. But if anything were to happen and this man gets caught, it's on you. And I know that it's been happening for centuries, but some men will always look for younger women. But can you answer this? Why is this man trying to date an 18-year-old when he can just date somebody his own age? Because I was 16, this man was able to manipulate me however he wanted. As much as you think you might like him or you have a connection with him, it's wrong and you know it because you're lying to him saying that you're 18. But babe, I don't even want to judge you because I was in your position. Okay, now think into the future and think about how you would feel as a mom if your 16-year-old daughter was lying to a 22-year-old man saying that she's 18 so that she could be with him. And how would you feel about that 22-year-old man? Now, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you to think about what you're doing. I promise you 10 years from now, you're gonna look back on this and you're gonna think, oh my God. The more you stay in your own little bubble, the more you normalize this because nobody's telling you that it's wrong. Bye!
Story time about how my boyfriend and best friend were sneaking around behind my back. So a little background information, I was 15 and in 10th grade. So my mom and dad were split up and I was pretty much allowed to do whatever I wanted because of that. So I was dating this boy named Jacob. Well, my best friend Alice literally hated him. Like low-key, every once in a while, she would try to break him and I up. And when I would call her out on it, she would just deny it. Anyway, so the one day I didn't go to school because I was super sick. So the whole day I was trying to text Jacob and Allison, but nobody was answering me. Which was extremely weird because no matter what, Allison would always text me back. So after I knew the school ended, I went to Allison's house. Nobody was answering the door, so I used the spare key. I walk in and all I hear is a very loud banging coming from her bedroom. So I walk in, I see my boyfriend and her together. And then he starts saying that she drugged him. So I went on his phone, I see a bunch of old text messages between him and her and them exchanging pictures. And then sis wants to start giving me an attitude, so I punched her in the face. And then I left and I don't talk to either of them.
Let me tell you guys my experience of getting scammed by a bride. So a while ago, my friend shared my business link on her story, and apparently this said bride saw my work, loved it, and sent me a DM. Now this lady tells me that she would like to book a session for an event she has coming up and wants to know my rate. I responded and I sent her my rate card, then politely asked what occasion the makeup was for, and if she would like to book the home service or studio walking session. She requested for the home service session and made full payment, which I thought was quite impressive for a first-time client. On the D-Day, I booked a ride and I got to her place with the directions that she gave me. I set up my work too and started the session. It was from this point that the situation started to get tricky. Now, there were 4 people in the room with me. The bride, side note, at this point, I had no idea she was the bride, her sister, and her 2 friends. The sister was playing an off-camera woman and the friends were seriously guarding the entrance front door, which was weird. And it was at this point that the red flag should have started going off in my head. But I thought, it wasn't that deep. I'm just here to do my job and leave afterwards. By the time I'm almost done and doing the final touches, this old grandma comes down from the stairs and calls her bride in their language. Side note, I'm guessing the grandma was the only family member they didn't give proper orientation on their scam the makeup artist plan.
Now skip to my little Jersey. Oh my God, Leah, what the
Extremely toxic best friend story time. So when I was in 8th grade, there was this boy. And this boy would go around telling almost every girl that he liked her. And I was one of those girls. And he would do stuff with all of us. And there were like 11 of us. So we all hated each other. Especially this one girl, and we're gonna call her Abby. And every time we saw each other, we would be super mean to each other. Well, a year passed, we stopped talking to this kid, and I bumped into her at homecoming and basically apologized. So after that, we became best friends. And everything was good until every time I told her about a guy, she would start talking to them. Like this one boy that I was Snapchatting and talking to, she accidentally sent nudes to him and said, "Oh, sorry, I meant to send them to my boyfriend." So then she called one of my other best friends and said, "No, it actually wasn't an accident." And of course he told me because he was my best friend. So I was like, whatever, and stopped talking to the boy. And she did it again, like for part 2.
Contando historias de terror. Para empezar, esta historia es de una seguidora. Cuando me lo contó estuvo impactado y sentí un nervio, como si me hubiera pasado a mí, pero empecemos. Les cuento en primera persona, aunque me dio muchos nervios. Un día mis papás me dejaron a cargo de mis abuelos, pues ya que mis padres se iban a una fiesta familiar, pues para esa época era en el 2019, ahí tenía 13 años. Bueno, para eso yo y mi hermana, que se llamaba Lucia, nos fuimos a la casa de mi abuela. Para esto mi abuela andaba triste ya que mi abuelo había fallecido hace 2 meses. Pues llegó la noche, eran las 11:47. Para esto yo y mi hermana bajamos a dormir. En eso que fuimos a dormir, escucha unos pasos. Para ese día que andaba lloviendo y se escucha truenos. Yo andaba asustada, no sabía qué hacer. Mi hermana, que tenía 18 años, decidió ver abajo. Para eso mi abuela tenía un gato negro. Mi hermana vino corriendo a nuestro cuarto. Yo le pregunté qué le había pasado y qué había abajo. Mi hermana solo dijo, escóndete en el closet rápido. Yo no sabía por qué, pero le hice caso ya, así que mi hermana se esconde debajo de la cama y me dice que no salga de la nada. Mi hermana me dice, parte 2.
I found out my best friend set me up to get assaulted and robbed. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. I'm sending me on Instagram. Growing up, I got bullied a lot and I never had a best friend. After graduating from college, I landed a really good job. I actually started working as a forest ranger and this was my dream job. I love being outside in nature. Like I said, I don't have a lot of friends. I even had to move to a smaller town to be at this job. When I got to this small town, immediately one girl started trying to befriend me. Let's call her Katie. Katie was extremely nice to me. Like almost too nice at the beginning. She was always inviting me to go out and even introduced me to all her friends. I ended up really liking her friend group, which was so nice. A month into living there, weird things started happening. One day I woke up to a knife in my tire. Then a few days later, 2 of my packages were stolen. I decided to install a Ring camera and I told nobody. For the next 2 weeks, nothing happened. Then one night, my Ring camera notifies me that someone is outside my door. The person was wearing a black hoodie, so I couldn't see their face, but I could tell that they were a woman. Part 2 is up. Story time about when I was sexually assaulted at the strip club that I was working at by a known DRUG person. A long time ago, I was working at a strip club as a cocktail waitress, and this was a job that I actually really liked. I was surrounded by queens. Like, the dancers were amazing, the other cocktail waitresses were amazing. I was trusting of everyone that went there, including all the men that went there. I had really good guys that would come in and like give me a lot of tips, and basically I would just talk to them and give them my companionship. Other cocktail waitresses had this very special client who would only come to see her and a couple of the dancers. Now, this man was a scary looking guy and we all knew what he did, and it was, you know, involved in DRUG. I was so scared of this man that I would never, like, ever go near the table. So one day the cocktail waitress comes up to me and says, hey, my client over here wants you to serve him tonight. She's like, he's really good. He's gonna tip you like $100 every time you bring him a drink. So all she kept saying to me was, be nice. How effed up is that? My husband forced me to watch him doing it with another woman. Disclaimer, is not my story time. Send me on Instagram. I'm an overweight 28-year-old. My husband hates the fact that I'm fat. He and I dated for 2 years before he asked me to marry him. At this time, everything was pretty much okay. We had a lot of fun together. We were basically best friends. But after we got married, I ended up gaining some weight. Mostly because I wasn't really taking care of myself and because I've never cared about gaining weight or not. But to my husband, this is horrible. After I gained 20 pounds, he started saying things like, you're starting to look different and I don't like it. I can see your belly when we're having sex. And I gained another 20 pounds. And this is when he was really grossed out. If I asked him for a towel while I was showering, he would just throw it at me. Because apparently the sight of my naked body disgusted him. After a few weeks, I asked him to stop talking to me that way, and he said that he wouldn't because he didn't marry a fat woman. But I think he should love me no matter what. Even if I'm fat or skinny, he should still love me. He got to the point where he wouldn't even touch me or kiss me good morning or good night. And we used to have a pretty active sex life. Things got way worse. He started not coming home. Part 2 is up.